It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
It's not such a beautiful day in the neighborhood these days for PBS. Congress is expected to vote this week on President Trump's request to defund PBS. I spoke to General Manager Sarah DeWitt of PBS Kids about what that would mean for Utah kids and parents. Given the political landscape, remind us what PBS does for Utah.
PBS Utah is an incredible service to the community. It brings PBS programming and what I work on, PBS children's programming, to kids all across the state. They do all kinds of community events, like I know there's a Be My Neighbor Day coming up and a readathon that happens every year. So really, the station is what takes PBS Kids content that has a proven educational impact and really brings it to members of the community, to families, to children who can most benefit from these kinds of free resources to help get kids ready for school.
I grew up on Sesame Street. You probably did too. My kids liked Arthur.
Oh, I love Arthur.
What are the shows now that are appealing to kids, and how are they different in what they teach?
So Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood is one of the ones that definitely we get the most letters about, and that is based on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but it's the next generation. And it really is focused on helping kids get ready for school, helping them manage emotions, helping them understand how to share with friends, and gives parents all kinds of great strategies for how to navigate the world around them as preschoolers are growing up. Another show that is very popular is Wild Kratts, which is all focused on animals. Chris and Martin Kratt bring kids on creature adventures. And it's not just observing animals, but really thinking about how that animal survives in its habitat. What are those features that the animal has that allow it to run faster or fly higher? Really getting into those science concepts so kids can begin to understand how animals work within their environment. We bring all kinds of shows from math and literacy to that school readiness to children. And we really are thinking about how can we make sure this content is developmentally appropriate, that it can reach kids where they are and help them better understand the world around them, help them really prepare for school. I am so proud of the proven educational results that PBS Kids programs have, that watching a show like Super Why can be equivalent to a month and a half's worth of classroom instruction for a child who doesn't have a formal preschool opportunity, really helping with those early literacy.
I wanted to ask you more about that because these votes to defund PBS come at a time when many kids are relying on this programming to keep them learning in the summer and prepare them for school in the fall. PBS has a role. Tell me about that role that PBS plays.
So we often hear about it called the summer slide. A lot of kids' skills kind of fall backwards over the summer because they're not in that regular classroom instruction. And we know that watching shows like Super Why, like Odd Squad, which focuses on math, can help kids keep those skills fresh and can help keep them practicing. In PBS and PBS Utah, we're so much more than just television. We also offer games for kids, free educational games that they can play online at pbskids.org or on the PBS Utah PBS Kids Games app, where they can download games and play them even if they don't have broadband at home. But those kinds of really skills-focused experiences can help kids keep those skills fresh. And we also give great tips to parents. What are some things that you can do at home together? You can play these games, but then we give you ideas for offline activities. And I know the PBS Utah website has a lot of those right there, ideas for how parents can take the learning away from the screens and help continue to build those skills through the summer.
For better and worse, probably parents have more choices than ever for programming for kids. What does PBS offer that others don't or can't, or what role does it fill?
So we're in such a unique time in media that really PBS is so focused on the child and what the needs of the child are. So we work with parents, we work with educational experts to really think about how can kids most learn from this media? It's what Fred Rogers set us up to do at the beginning. What is the power of this medium to really bring education into the home? Most of the options for kids today are really driven by algorithms. What is going to drive the bottom line? What's going to drive the most revenue? And unfortunately, what's going to keep kids watching as long as possible? And at PBS, we're thinking about what is the right way to introduce topics, and then how do we inspire that learning to continue away from the screen? How do we also help kids learn when to stop and try something new?
Those algorithms are exactly what concern a lot of parents too. I've seen the research on that parents trust PBS in that capacity.
Yeah, we are the #1 trusted educational media brand. We often hear from parents that we are the first media that they will put in front of their kids, the first television show, the first games app. This is their first experience because they know this is a trusted place without commercials, without anything that's going to be kind of driving behaviors that the parents don't want. It's really focused on how do we help kids learn? How do we help kids see the world around them?
All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Deanie.
Now, I know it's summer break, but we are going to spend more time talking about keeping kids learning. You can do both. You can have summer fun and keep kids moving. Amanda Reed-Gardner is with the CEO of Boys and Girls Club Greater Salt Lake. I know you agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Summer is all about fun and getting out and doing stuff, but it's really an important springboard to making sure kids are ready to go back to school when it's time. And play is such an important part of learning, so incorporate both.
You can have the best of both worlds, but the summer slide is a serious problem.
Absolutely.
Describe what that means.
Yeah, so when kids are out of school, out of the regular routine, not getting immersed into those learning activities every single day, we can see them actually revert back to, different areas in their proficiencies in both reading and math and science. And teachers have to spend the good portion of their fall term getting them caught back up to where they were when they left school. So really trying to take advantage of the summertime to make sure that kids don't have that gap or that slide.
Now, Boys and Girls Clubs are a great place to keep that. You call it the summer brain gain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of our national curriculums that we are running with clubs all over the country, but it's really trying to work in an element of learning into all of our activities that are fun and engaging, incorporating both STEM, art, literacy, math, all of those things to help kids keep learning over the summer.
You have a lot of tips and tricks for parents when it comes to reading. And one of the things I really liked is instead of fighting technology, leverage it and work with it. Describe what you mean by that.
Yeah, well, kids learn in just a completely different way than when we were growing up, right? And technology is a part of it. And so incorporating, maybe having put together a Canva slideshow presentation over a book that they read or a story. Incorporate some screen time that is learning based. Tie it into a movie or to a TV show or their favorite character. Get them using and integrating it and tie the storylines of the books you're reading into the work that you're doing online.
Such an important message, and it shows that this is all possible. Yeah. I appreciate you taking the time to come and give us some encouragement and some ideas. And they can find more about that on your website and through your programs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Up next, the growing pains being felt in St. George and what the city is doing to try to manage the surge.